Greetings fellow YouTubers and welcome to EAA. As always, I am Mike and I wanted to do a quick video from up here because I haven't really done a video up here in a long time and I really like the view. I think it looks good overlooking the car, so that's where we're going to be for today's video. This one should be a quick one, but as many people may know, if you saw my last video, I just bought a 2002 Ford Lightning. Why? Because I wanted one, obviously. And my plan is to use it as a daily driver. So if you look back, you watch that video, you actually see the whole story and find out exactly what prompted me to buy the truck and everything like that. But yeah, my plan is to use it as a daily driver. I want to switch back and forth between that and my 2003 Buick Regal GS. Maybe a week on, week off type thing. But anyway, kind of when it rains, it pours around here. So something I didn't mention in the video about the Lightning, when I got it, I test drove it. I was able to take it down the road. I was able to get into it a little bit and run it through a couple of gears, but I wasn't able to really like wind it out. I didn't have the space or the room or what have you, but it felt really good. And I drove it home and it seemed to do really good, but I noticed as I was getting closer to home, I went out to kind of pass and get around a truck on the freeway, and I noticed that it felt kind of doggy. It just didn't feel like it had a lot, but I didn't think too much about it. I got home, drove around a little bit, and after I got a little more experience with the truck and got a little more comfortable with it, I took it out and I realized the truck just would not go over 100 miles an hour. That was it. It was like it was running into a wall, falling flat on its face, almost like it had a governor on it or something along those lines. So I went to YouTube, I went to Google, I started doing some research, and most people said the best thing to do would be to check the fuel filter. It's got to be a fuel problem, so it's either fuel filter or fuel pump. Well, fuel filter is obviously the most inexpensive route to go. So I was at Al's Transmission the other day, and I let Al's son Nathan take the truck out for a little drive. He came back and he said, yeah, absolutely, there's something wrong with it. I just ordered a fuel filter. If you can hang out for a few minutes, I'll replace it for you and see if that remedies the problem. So the fuel filter was partially clogged, replaced that. I took it out, I drove it, and it felt better for a minute. But then it started doing the same thing. And basically the symptoms are at about 80-85, the truck just starts running out of steam. It just starts falling flat on its face, and basically like 100 miles an hour, it's just done. It just won't do any more. It's just done for. So Nathan also mentioned possibly a couple of hoses going into the intake. Maybe there's a vacuum leak. He said the hoses looked kind of old and they were kind of spongy. So had Eddie replace those, took the truck out, and it seemed to drive a lot stronger, but still at 115 it just shut down. It had no more. So I decided I was going to go ahead and take it over to the local Ford dealership, Price Ford here in Turlock, and going to have them go ahead and replace the fuel pump. Figured that would probably be the smart thing to do, and I have to really hand it to the service technician there at Price Ford. His name is Jeff. Big hats off to him. He said, why don't you bring the truck down, let us diagnose it and see what the problem is before you start throwing all this money at it, because it's going to be like 400 bucks in labor just to do the job, and then the fuel pump I priced through them was like over $600, so that was $1,000 right there. Took the truck down to them. They had it for about 24 hours, and they said, well, lo and behold, you've got a different pulley on it. It's actually got a bigger lower pulley to produce more boost. And I suspected that to be true, and looking at the pulleys and measuring them, and the fact that the truck does give me more boost than the standard 8 pounds of boost. So Jeff said, I'm not going to charge you for it, but we can't do anything here, but you're going to have the truck tuned for this pulley. So I checked with a dyno tuning place in Oakdale. I've never worked with them before, but I went by and talked to him. Robert, who is their tuner, said that he could do it. So the truck's going to go down there in about a month, and they're going to go ahead and do the tuning on it and get that thing operating the way it should. So hopefully that will remedy the problem. That'll be taken care of and we'll be done from there. Then I'm driving around my 2003 Buick Regal and the service engine light comes on, and it's done this to me before, but this time I figured, okay, I better have it checked out. So I took it over to Eddie. He put his scanner on it, ran the codes. I know he cleaned the mass airflow, and he did a couple of other things to it, reset all the codes, and he drove it, put about 100 miles on the car, and it seems to have reset, seems to be doing okay. Hopefully it's going to be all good and I won't have any problems with that. However, I do have an issue with the car now. Under acceleration, you do feel some kind of shaking through the wheel. I don't know if it's tire rods, ball joints, or what have you, but I do need to get that back to Jesse at Discount Tire, have that all checked out. So kind of like one of those things, it rains, it pours, and it happened to be on the daily drivers, so that's kind of a bummer in itself, but all stuff that's easily remedied and easily fixed. I'm looking forward to getting the Lightning tuned, getting it to perform the way it's supposed to its full potential, and that will be good. And then of course, as far as the Buick, I'll get all that taken care of. Get the front end checked out and everything like that, and get it back in order. But I just wanted to give you guys that little update. The Lightning does have a pulley, and it does need some tuning done to it to get it operating optimally. And I can't wait to see what that truck's going to do, because right now it pulls really pretty strongly. Up to about 65, 75 in that area is when it kind of starts dogging out and dying. So really anxious to see what it'll do all the way up through the power curve once it's properly tuned for that pulley and the cold air intake and everything like that. So that's all the news it is news right now. If you like the video, definitely give me a thumbs up. If you are stopping in for the first time, definitely subscribe to this channel. My Instagram PO box, as always, will be in the description below. God bless, take care, have an absolutely amazing day.